Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die, they stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for support if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye.
Right now, I think it's impossible. Absolutely 100% impossible for Trump to lose. So, going back on my other conversations where I talked about where, I have a problem with Trump. Remember, I voted for Trump twice. Let's go through my record. I voted for Trump twice. Bob and I had a radio show called Patriot Radio America that was built just to support Trump. All right. So I'm not an anti-Trump guy or anything like that. I have one issue with the guy. One issue. Don't pull us out of NATO. That is there to protect us from Russia. And it still stands today. I'm not going to do a sympathy vote or an empathy vote if Trump got shot or if his kid got shot. I'm going to vote for Trump. That guy wants to pull us out of NATO. You're not getting my vote. You're not getting this white boy's vote. I can tell you that right now. So that's the thing, you guys. So let's go over a couple timelines. All right. I want to talk about Taiwan and I want to talk about Ukraine. And we'll just talk, authority, where, who has the best information and what could happen. Because the reality is, Biden's a disaster. There's some stuff that he's doing that I like, but it's Republican policy. And I still don't know how the hell was there a deal being done? The CHIP Act, that's a Republican strategy. The PG2, the bringing back our factories from China, that's a Republican strategy. That's all Republican strategy. So how Biden's doing this, or what happened, or I don't know. But those things are good, all right? But it doesn't do any good when you build an economy and do all that, and then you go after the energy, which props the economy up. None of that makes any sense. So, no matter what, they're stuck in retard mode. So real quick before I get into these quotes, all right? Remember that I was upset because Trump got us out of Afghanistan. So you people who don't understand that, you need to go do the audio that Bob and I put together. And I'll find the link for it. I'll find it and put the link so you guys can see it. You don't have to search for it. All right. But it goes through Chris Miller, the Secretary of Defense, and how he's given a talk on how Trump told him you need to pull us out of Afghanistan and out of Iraq. He was able to pull us out of Afghanistan. The reason I'm saying that is because people know Biden pulls out of Afghanistan. No, it was Trump, and he made it legal, and he had to do it. Biden had to pull it out, pull the troops out under his watch. So no matter what, doesn't matter how it turned out. Trump can say all he wants. Well, I wouldn't have done that. Well, that's our military is in charge of pulling us out. They're the ones who plan it out. It's not the president of the United States. There's nothing Donald J. Trump or Joseph Biden ever did in their freaking lives that would give them the type of authority to plan out, taking troops, of Disney Park, let alone Afghanistan. So I'm pretty sure that the military would have probably pulled the troops out the same way as under Donald Trump as they did with Biden. So that's a bunch of anybody who has, any type of any ounce of truth in them and reason in them would understand that. You know, the military has a strategy in pulling us out, and Trump's group and all that stuff can say all they want. But here's the point, right? Trump wants to pivot towards Asia, and I like that. I am for that. But the whole, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me here. The whole reason we're pivoting towards Asia is to make sure that Asia doesn't break out of containment. China breaks out of containment and take over Eurasia. And guess where Afghanistan is, ladies and gentlemen? It's in Eurasia. So the whole point of saying that we need to stop China and their Belt Road Initiative so they'll encroach on our markets. All right. So we're pivoting toward Asia, right? We're the island chains. Great. That's cool. But what about the other side? We had China surrounded. We were in Afghanistan. Hello? What about Russia? Let's say the moron crowd out there that thinks Russia and Jesus are two bros, right? Let's say if you're a realist and you know what's going on. What about if we did have a war with Russia? All right, we have NATO troops in Europe, and then we had troops in Iraq, and we had troops in Afghanistan. Guess what? We had Russia surrounded. Let's say if we have a big deal we have to go through with Iran. We have troops in Iraq. We have troops in Afghanistan. We have our Navy is in the South Pacific Ocean. Or, I'm sorry, the Indian Ocean. Guess what? We have them surrounded. Guess what? We don't anymore. That's what's pissing me off. So people can go online and they can all this rhetoric from Breitbart and all channels and all the bots, these bot farms where these people are doing these copy and paste quotes. It's the same ones over and over again. They're not real. They're morons. All right. So we gave up the center of the chessboard, and I'm still pissed to this day. It still pisses me off. It pisses me off that people out there, that it's not that there's people out there that I can sit there and talk this and tell them, hey, what's going on? Do you want America to win? Yes. Do you want the United States to have an advantage? What if war is unavoidable? Would you want us to have the upper ground, the commanding heights, the center of the chessboard, all of that? Yes, yes, yes. Then why the hell would you want us to get out of Afghanistan? Okay, so let's just skip that for a while. NATO. All right. So if Trump wins, and I hope he's just using rhetoric. I hope, but he already pulled out of Afghanistan. So, you kind of got to go with that. But what about NATO? Now, this last week, NATO got together, and you guys, I got some of the best sleep I've been able to get in a long time because of what they said. All right. Basically, they said that they can take on Russia without the United States. That's the NATO countries. Without the United States, they can do this. And it made me, I'm not kidding. It was like I could breathe. So they have two things that are in the way of Trump. One is that NATO will react to Russia's threats without the United States. Time, by the way, when I voted for Trump twice, Trump said specifically, and by the way, Trump's not the one who came up with this. This was Republicans coming up with these arguments way before Trump. He was still doing his TV show. But the reality is that we were always complaining about NATO countries not paying their commitment to NATO. Or to the alliance, their fair share. So when Trump came along and he said, I'm going to make them do that, hell yeah, that was awesome. Hey, you guys, I used to do audios on stop taking advantage of us. Well, I never suggested once that we should get out of NATO. We built that alliance. That alliance was our idea. It wasn't an internationalist, or it was United States of America. If Russia takes over Ukraine, they're going to use that population and just add that more many people to their army. If Russia takes over Poland, they're going to take over Poland and use that population and just add that many more people to its population, to its army. And on down the low, that's how it works. And then what they want to do is the key to all of this, ladies and gentlemen, the key to all of this is production. They can expand their population like what they had during the USSR. Then their production is at a pretty good level. So they have people that can fight wars, and they have production. What defeats the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean are two big walls that protect us. We can do anything. We are God's chosen people. We have the best land you can have on the planet, and we're protected by two oceans. But there is something that can defeat that. It's called production. And the Russians have been talking about it forever. It's called the world island versus the outer islands. You and I live on the outer island. The world island is Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, or Europe, Asia, and Africa. And if they can get those, control most of it, and outproduce the United States, it will defeat the Atlantic and the Pacific, our barriers. They can do it through production. That's our policy. That's how we look at things. That's what we're doing. And so there's an asshole out there. Doesn't matter if he's about to get shot or he got shot or whatever. There's an asshole out there who wants to stop that, huh? Yeah. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, brilliant. Yeah, you and your God and you're brilliant. Yeah, you're all brilliant. Think about it for about 2 seconds. All right, that's the problem. So this is what's going to happen if Trump wins. And I'm hoping, you guys, this is what I'm hoping. There's a side conversation on Trump saying that he wants to stop the war without giving Russia a victory. All right, but it never came from Trump's lips. It's people are around him saying, well, there's this option, art of the deal, and basically what it is Trump will arm the living shit out of Ukraine, and Russia gets to keep what they've taken over. They've already taken. Something like that pops up, great, but Trump's never said anything like that. Those are people saying that that's one of the options that are on the table. They never even said that he said that. So that I could live with that. I could live with that. But but we go by what we can prove in a court of law, right? So we can't use that. God, I hope that's true. I'm not kidding. I hope something like that is on the table, and that's true, because World War III is not going to be fought over Ukraine. World War III is going to be fought over Poland. And so here's the math, you guys. I'm going to read a couple of some good stuff here. I know a lot of you guys disagree with me on this stuff like that, but I appreciate you listening anyways. And for the people who worship me, I'm just kidding. But it is a fun conversation. It is. This is good stuff to have, because the reason I'm going to give you these dates and how to think is to prepare yourself. That's all I'm doing. I'm not here to try to prove my point is right or anything like that. I want you people to be prepared for what could happen in Iraq as far as investing, so you can adjust. And if Biden wins, what's going to happen? You need to be able to adjust. If Trump wins, what could happen? You need to be able to adjust. That's all this is, okay? So, let me see. That's China. We'll go to Ukraine. All right. So this is a report. I was talking with Bob when I started this audio, and I had to erase a bunch of stuff because I'll read right through it and I will get in trouble. But the stuff that's private for them, but the rest of the stuff is public. All right. So United States plans to stop Russia advance in Ukraine through several key strategies, which is my PowerPoint here. All right. provide substantial financial aid. The recently approved 61 billion aid package for Ukraine is aimed at preventing Ukraine's defeat and bolstering its defense capabilities. So here, let me get to this part. So let me throw this out there. I'm gonna actually approach this a little bit different for you guys because you guys would get this stuff. All right. So the significant investment represents less than 4% of the U.S. defense budget, but is seen as crucial for U.S. security interests. Supplying military equipment, the aid package is expected to include essential military hardware such as artillery shells, anti-aircraft missiles, tanks, advanced electronic warfare capabilities. This equipment is intended to help Ukraine slow Russia's advance and protect its troops and its civilians. So, having said that, you guys, we're not equipping Ukraine to win a war. We're equipping Ukraine to exhaust Russia out. That's what we're doing. We're specifically doing that. All right. Expanding weapons usage. There are calls to change the rules of engagement for U.S. supplied weapons, allowing Ukraine to strike military and military-related targets, not just in occupied Ukraine, but also in Russia. Expediting aid delivery, all that stuff. But so sustaining long-term support. The U.S. is developing a strategy for contained support of Ukraine over the next 3 to 5 years, recognizing that long wars require sustained strategic vision. The reason I wanted to read that to you guys specifically, because I just said that without the United States, NATO is prepared to move forward. Okay, so that's Trump gets in, and NATO moves forward without the United States. Now they can't stop the aid that we've already committed to them. That's already written in law. Just like Biden couldn't stop pulling out of Afghanistan if he wanted to, because Trump had it ratified and it was written in law. People don't understand that, we are a nation of laws, all right? But, and this what's make me, all this stuff makes me happy. There's a lot more here, but this is what the experts are saying. If you go completely the other way, let's say Trump gets in and Trump, has the ability to stop support for Ukraine, and it has an effect on the battlefield. NATO doesn't step up for whatever reason. Internal attacks, they just don't have the wherewithal to do it. Whatever, doesn't matter. Let's say Russia, it takes them a couple of years, and Russia takes over Ukraine. The war will stop. It'll take, and this is the point that I need you guys to understand, it'll take exactly 4 years from the day that Russia wins that war. It'll take 4 years for them to rebuild their military to go after Poland. So you need to write that down. That's what all the top military advisors from NATO, from the United States, you name it, from England. When Russia wins the war, they'll have to go through a recoup period. It'll take them 4 years, and then they'll be ready to go after Poland, which is exactly what they said they're going to do. So I taught it since 1998. It's Russian policy. Told people, all the way up until they attack Ukraine, the key to their advancement is attacking Ukraine, taking over Ukraine. They even told everybody. All right. So remember the key issue here, though. This is when, after Russia wins, if they win the Ukrainian war, there'll be a 4-year gap. And then they'll go after Poland. What does that mean? That means World War III. That's what that means. Just so you know, you're being warned. You are being warned. If Trump's rhetoric is what he really thinks, and there's no reason for anybody to think otherwise, he pulled us out of Afghanistan. We had the center of the chessboard. We had the commanding heights over everybody. All right. So World War III will be fought over Poland. That's what will start World War III. So that's what's coming down the road, just so you know. Just so you know. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that the policy changes. I hope for the first time Trump is not going to do what he says he's going to do, because I think he's going to win, guys. All right. And this is what sucks. And I'm not kidding. This absolutely sucks. I'm only pissed off and can't stand the idea of him winning just because of that issue. But the issues that's going to start World War III, I think, is a good moral standing. I don't want anybody to go through that, and it's going to happen. And I'm telling you right now, the Russians want it to happen. They want World War III to happen. So you all know they don't. Yes, they do. They said they want it to happen. The people who put these plans together said they want this to happen. Otherwise, this shit's just going to keep on going and going and going. But what they're trying to set up World War III to where they completely win. That's why they don't mind doing it. In their minds, they think they can completely win. They think that, excuse me, the West won't respond correctly. The United States won't respond properly. It'll give them the big win. They're fully expecting World War III. So, just so you guys know, that's the map. The top military thinkers, the top planners, and all that stuff say that if Russia wins in Ukraine, there'll be a 4-year gap, and then they're going to go after Poland, and then you're going to. So, the reason I was throwing up all this information about what the United States can do, it's to push that off. To try to crack the egg as many places possible, so it just stops them for as long as possible. And in the meantime, you have the NATO countries are spooling up its military industry, their production, and try to give them as much time to make as much as possible, so Russia doesn't have the advantage if World War III is to start. You guys understand? Very simple. That's all this conversation is about. So you have a timeline for yourself on what could happen, based on reality, based on facts, based on strategy, what Russia's doing, what NATO's doing, and what the United States wants to do. So if Biden becomes president, and it sucks, you guys see what's going on. All right, the guy is older than dirt, and I disagree with almost every policy that it's just a piece of shit. All right, I don't like the guy. I didn't like the guy when he was in good health. So, but NATO will, or Ukraine will get everything. They'll get everything they asked for, and it'll be pushed off. The war will be pushed off. Now, what I did is I sent Bob a link, and it's going to be below, and it's General Hodges, which is my favorite, and he's talking about what Russia's capable of doing, their capacity, at what rate they're fighting this war, and how he's saying from us giving Ukraine 61 billion in aid, and we didn't give it all to them at once. It'll be in chunks and pieces, and the type of hardware that we're given, that Russia has a short fuse of about 2 years